welcome back to our Ask the Expert series, where we chat with people in the know about waste minimisation and recycling. Today, we're joined by Robert Herbert and Jim Meadowcroft from Eco Technology Solutions, formerly known as Computer Recycling. Eco is Aotearoa New Zealand's largest e-waste recycling company. Welcome, Robert and Jim.
Hi. Hey.
First things first, what actually is e-waste and how does it get recycled?
We classify e-waste as electronic waste. It's anything with a plug. We even go as far as anything with a battery. These items eventually don't work anymore. So we need to work out a system where they have somewhere to go. When they're finished with their useful life, they need to be refurbished or recycled in a secure and ethical manner. In New Zealand, these items often contain valuable materials such as metals, plastic and glass, as well as harmful substances such as lead and mercury. So it's really important that these are not headed for the landfill.
And really what we try and do here at Ecotech is provide services so that we can collect all of these devices. And our first pass really is to try and sanitize all the data and test as many devices as possible so that we can prepare them for reuse. We provide quite extensive refurbishment of IT assets, phones, laptops, and so on, and try and work with our partners to put them back in use in the community. All of the assets that don't pass our test and the refurbishment program will be manually dismantled or put through our large industrial machinery and shredders to separate all of the good materials that we can then send to our downstream partners overseas for precious metal recovery or locally for recycling of plastics and batteries and so on.
So, can you tell us about the current state of e-waste recycling in New Zealand?
Currently in New Zealand, there is no legislation framework. Electronic waste can go to landfill. We're one of the only OECD countries that still allows this to happen. Ecotech is a certified world-class demanufacturing company. We have Kiwi businesses and Kiwi households who want to actually recycle material, and we have processes in place to keep it out of landfill.
And what would you say is the biggest challenge currently faced by e-waste recyclers?
Well, here in New Zealand, definitely the biggest challenge we face is awareness across the business sector and the standard Kiwi household. And the awareness that really is a little bit counter to what we can do today. Because of no regulation, anything can really go in the bin and end up in landfill. So we really have to try and educate the business community and the end customer community that we can really do better for New Zealand. That means we have to provide collection services in as many places as we can to try and gather all this material together and bring it to our processing facility where we can sanitize all the data, make sure that's safe, and then process all the assets so that they can be reused or ethically recycled.
So, what is the key opportunity for e-waste recycling in the coming years?
Well, with the emerging awareness of recycling in general and how it applies specifically to e-waste, we have to increase the awareness in everybody that we are actually one of the worst offenders in the OECD. In New Zealand, it's estimated that each of us Kiwis has about 25 kgs of e-waste per year. And we need to find ways to get that out into the community and educate everybody that it's really not the right place to put this material in landfill. That's why we're partnering with Reclaim to help push that message and provide all kinds of solutions to collect this material in businesses and community sites and with end customers so that we can stop it going into our landfill.
And so, one last question that we have for all of our guests. What is one piece of advice that you would give to an individual or organisation that are looking to improve their recycling practices for e-waste specifically? Robert, can we start with you, please?
Yeah, there's lots of different areas available to businesses. In New Zealand, there's quite, they can reach out to Reclaim or reach out to Ecotech. And there's also various other days that are organised for people to bring their e-waste. But I suppose the main piece of advice is do not put it in landfill. There are other options. Please use them. Thank you.
Brilliant. And any advice from you, Jim?
Really, just to echo what Robert's saying, and think about what damage these assets do to the environment. There's all kinds of bad chemical leakage from e-waste, but there's also lots of value in e-waste, and precious metal recovery from the PCBAs. But as we mentioned before, our first starting point really is to try and test and refurbish these assets and parts as much as we can and get them back into the community so that they can be reused. Please reach out.
Robert and Jim, thank you both so much for your time today. We really appreciate you sharing your expertise with us on e-waste.
Thank you very much for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you.